Hey guys, Jeff the Maintenance Man. Staring at a whole bunch of junk. If you haven't watched Getting Ready for a Christmas Show, these are those pixels I pulled off of those old Elements that I had. I have a couple controllers to choose from. Also, I have a Sans device somewhere around here. This is the Ethicon Gateway controller with 8 channels. That doesn't mean you can put only 8 strands of lights. You could put, shoot, up to 5,000 lights on each one of these if you want to do power injection. But most people just use them to separate universe numbers and that stuff. This one I haven't even used. I built this one off the kit. You can... I received blank circuit boards. I got 4 more blank circuit boards, and I got more circuit boards over there for like 4-channel analog controllers. But I like the Ethernet controllers because you can just plug right into the Ethernet, control this with your computer, assign it, and do all that. Well, last year I had this gigantic computer. This sucker right here. This thing's huge. Excuse my room. There's a bunch of junk, printers and everything. I was working on a monitor that has blown caps. Waiting on the caps to get in. So what I do as kind of a hobby side job is electronics. Yeah, electronics. Programming, all sorts of stuff. When you're security for 5 years, you get really bored. So I taught all myself about this kind of stuff and learned it. Might as well learn something while you're there, right? But anyway, this is going to be the nerve center of the building. It looks like a pile of wires right now, but this is a FM transmitter. They're kind of in there tight. The CZE05B. I think I bought it for around 50 bucks, and it has a good range on it. Then I have a Netgear switch in there, which is going to carry my network wires. I'm going to have one network wire going into the box, or out of the box, and one power wire. This one network wire right here will go over to my Sans device controller, which it's right here. Let me get it for you just a second. Another box. So this is going to go into my Sans device controller, which this is the same. Believe it or not, this one can hold more amp draw and stuff like that than this one, and it's fuse protected. Last year I was being stupid and hooked some things up and blew some fuses. I hope it's still okay, but we'll find out. If not, like I said, I can hook these up. Just run a wire from these over to my network switch, and they each have an IP address like that I can just access them and do test sequences or whatever. So that's where this wire is going to go. It's going to go into this box, into here. I even went so far to put a little white light up here. And I usually, I guess I took it off for whatever reason, but I have a little switch and I hook it up to the 12 volts going into the board. So I can see inside the thing at night, which is a pretty good idea for you people that want to, watch... or do your own Christmas light shows. That's definitely helpful. But anywho, I can't get it right now, but I'll show you. I'm going to cut the video and then I'll show you. It's still uploading some files right now, and I can't unplug it, or I'm going to have yuckies. But so this is where the sound, the network, and the whole show is going to be ran off a tiny, tiny little computer. And I'll show you that here in a bit. Alright. Hey guys, I'm back. Alright, so here's computer thing. It should tell me an audio over my radio behind me. What the IP address is. And tell me if everything's good to go. Then I'll be able to access this from the computer. We'll wait for it to boot up. So I got my radio transmitter on, network switch, and a Raspberry Pi. Got that. Guys, come on now. Cats are playing. Here we go. Come on, tell me. Don't tell me the card's corrupt. Yeah,
I have found the following IP addresses: 10.00.73.
So 10.00.73. Alright, I think it's booted up. So let's go over to the computer, which is behind me, and see what we get here. Alright, so we're back over here at the computer. I had to set some things up, so I got a just one sequence loaded right now, and it seems to play just fine over the radio and everything's running. This is the Falcon player. So I set up a couple things, and network name is gonna be like Jeff's Lights or whatever. There's a ton of things you can do with this actually. One of the coolest ones is like mail control. So I could put in my email, password, blah blah, the mail ports and stuff. Kind of set it up like thing. When you email, if you have a matrix or something, and even my tree's a matrix, you know, you'll get a message back from the tree or the Raspberry Pi. It says thanks for your message has been added to the queue. And then I could put a whitelist so you can't like say profanity or something, and yeah, it's got a profanity blocker, because I can see somebody saying the N-word or something and that prints on my tree. That would suck, but I'd kind of laugh actually. So yeah, they got a bunch of plugins like that. The big green button where you can go up and hit a big green button and it starts the show, you know. You can send a text message. It'll go on the matrix, which a matrix is just a bunch of LEDs. So if you didn't know that, kind of like a TV, basically. You could actually probably just configure this to print to a TV in your window or something if you put a TV in your window like some people do. But pretty cool. So just going around looking at all this, looks like I'm good to go. I mean, once I get my wireless in here, all I got to do is change this from ITH 0 to WLAN 0 or 1, or say WLAN or something right here. It'll show up. So let me see, it's somewhere around here. I wanted to, yeah. So this is where you would go to select if you want to force your HDMI display to be the display, or which we don't need any of that. Blank between sequence, man, whatever. It's all. I'm just gonna leave this all default. This is my flash drive, so it's a 32 gig flash drive, so I got a lot of dang space on it. Because these sequences are only like a couple megs, so you don't really need a big, you know, USB card or anything.
But I had a 32 gig and it's the only one I had, so it's gonna have to work. Yeah, email settings. Yet again, you can, they require you to have Gmail. So if you don't have Gmail, I'm not gonna really mess around with any of that because I'm not gonna be doing all that. I'm a small show. I do like the mail and stuff. And on that computer, it has what's called GPIO, which is General Purpose Input Output things. So you can select like this one, for instance, which is like pin number 7, and you can have it do something, but you have to write in what it's gonna do or something. So you can yeah, it's got like 35 of those, 38 pins or something. Yeah, it's got a healthy amount of pins on it. So it's kind of like this. Well, you won't be able to see, but kind of like the video that I said, a $5 computer. It's got all those little pin header things on it. Which I would use that one, but it only outputs audio out of the HDMI, and I don't have HDMI to anything that can convert to audio, and they're like $50 or $30 or something like that. And it's got to be HDMI mini to whatever. So I was going to use that tiny little computer in that video. But it's not going to work for my purposes. It's got a better processor on it than this one does, actually. So this is pretty cool. This is all I really need. Everything seems to be set up. So, yeah. Let's press, you know what? Just for shits and giggles. Should press play, but I would press play, but for y'all to hear the audio, I would have to do it some different way. So y'all wouldn't even be able to hear the audio or anything. So I'm just going to shut it down. Always shut this thing down properly. Because if you don't, I think you get corrupt files and stuff. Alright guys, been Jeff the Maintenance Man. So a lot of setting up to do. I'm not even into the mapping the channels yet, and still doing some sequencing. If you want to see more of these videos and stuff, you can do like put in a comment section hashtag see more or something. I don't know, something like that. Alright guys, Jeff the Maintenance Man, y'all have a good day and y'all stay safe.